Well, hello. I know it's been a while. It's been a minute. I have a lot of things in queue to bring forth. I just went through a moment where I was asking Father and praying that He help me with everything that I have to teach or to bring forth. Sometimes I get nervous because I am afraid of the Most High. I get nervous of what to bring forth and how to bring it forth sometimes. I don't want to bring forth anything that gives the adversary a reason to try to accuse me before the throne of the Most High. That is a part of our walk, trying to navigate to make sure that what we speak is not condemning anyone, teaching but not condemning, right? Because condemning others is not acceptable. It's unacceptable. Going after others is unacceptable. When we call people out, we can't do it in a condemning way, because then, and we can't accuse them either, because Yahshua had told us that the adversary is the accuser of the brethren. He likes to tempt us with things so that we can be accused, because that's how he gets authority over us. That's how he is able to send deceit, false things within us. Like I said, I have many things to bring forth. Many things. I have a lot of videos in queue, waiting. And I kept praying, Father, should I just stop and wait on you for a bit? Or should I go forward? Because I never want to feel as though I am judging my brethren. I always like I keep quiet. I don't say anything. I allow Father to do the judging, not me. And then if He pours something into me, then I will do as He has required of me. But I never, ever want to feel as though I have condemned someone, because that's not our place. Our place is to help save people, to help save souls, to be wise, not to condemn them. Calling them out isn't saving them. Teaching and allowing them to find the teaching, praying for them will cause Father to direct them and put them on your path. And it's not easy. It's really not. But if we stick to what Yahshua told us and love one another, it becomes a lot easier. So there's several things that I have in queue, like I said, but I think the teaching today, I want to talk to everyone, especially those that reveal Paul. Because the moment you set your heart to revealing Paul is the moment you become of interest to the adversary. And sometimes you don't realize that he wants to tempt you away from that. Not from revealing him, but he wants you to go down a different path, a different road. And not down the road and the path that you're actually on. If he can tempt you away from Paul, yet it's still a part of your teaching, but if he can tempt you away, then he can accuse you. I remember back around 2009, there were so many YouTubers that were bringing forth the truths of Paul. Many. At least 20 that I myself paid attention to, but one by one, they dropped by the wayside. And I'm just positive that Joshua, these are the ones he was talking about, this with sowing the seeds. Some are sowed on the rocks, some are on the sand, some on, good soil, some on bad soil. If your foundation is not sure, then you will fail. And the adversary counts on that. A lot of times, what you don't realize is when you start seeing Paul, and you start teaching what you're seeing, you don't realize that you are so indoctrinated with Paul that in a way you teach in a way that you divide into yourself, and anything divided into itself will fall. Sometimes you don't realize that indoctrination is still in you, inside of you, with you. You don't realize that when you are in the church and you see Paul, you don't realize that sometimes you are so indoctrinated by Paul, with Paul, that you are coming against yourself in a way. And sometimes I have to sit back, because bringing it forth is one thing, but helping you to understand it is another. Helping you to see what I see. With all of those from way back that don't exist anymore, when I was watching them, I would always say, okay, now they're going down this path. They're going down the other path. They don't realize that they're doing exactly what Paul wants them to do, or rather the adversary. Imagine being American and you move to, let's say, Russia, and you decide to live in Russia, but you are an American, born, raised, bred, indoctrinated with American ways and values that don't go in Russia. Okay? Unacceptable in Russia or Japan or China. You can't go to China living as an American. You can't go trying to bring that. Because at some point you're going to end up in trouble, in jail, dead, whatever. So you have to make sure that you wash away all of the Pauline sediments that you don't realize are there. Sometimes we keep such a focus when we start seeing Paul, we don't realize that there's stuff that we still have that are Pauline, that blinds us. And then we will have people trying to point stuff out to us, not realizing they are tempting us. They are tempting you. They are trying to tempt you. So let's look at, let me give you a real example. We know that a lot of people, when they teach how Yahshua said, if they say they see me here or whatever, do not believe them. And a lot of us would point to Paul, how he had that vision in Damascus, and we say, well, Yahshua warned us about that. But we don't use those same eyes to look at him presenting himself to those in the room, right? To the disciples. He said, in secret rooms also. If they say they saw me in the secret room, believe them not. Thomas gave us the hint that this isn't him. This person presenting before us is not him. But no one goes against that particular instance, because that's one of the instances that prove that he raised from the dead. So we need that. So we don't use those same eyes to push that out, because we need that to believe, in order to continue to believe that Yahshua is who we have been taught that he is. But yet Yahshua said, if they say they see me in the secret rooms, believe them not either. And that's the secret room that supposedly he saw them. Just like Mary saw him on the path, supposedly, and she didn't recognize him either. There is no one in the history biblically that when they were raised from the dead, that no one recognized them. Everyone recognized them, except he's the only one. Even Lazarus, everyone knew who he was and recognized him. No one mentioned how different he looked. See, if we are going to break loose, we've got to let go of everything, every doctrine that we were taught. There are those that go all the way over. Instead of looking at Yahshua and saying, well, who was he then? If he's not this. Who is he? They go all the way, the other way, say, well, we can't receive him at all. And then they come wanting to come against everyone. Well, you can't receive him. You can't receive him at all. We have to go back to the Torah. We got to go back to Torah. They become the Torah thumpers, I call them. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. But if you don't see him clearly and know who he was, then don't even form in your mouth to come against him. Let his name taste like shit in the roof of your mouth. Excuse my expression, but that's what needs to happen. Just leave him be all together and stop trying to pull everyone else away from him, because you can't see him. You are the one that has let go of him, because you can't see him based on the road you went down, not realizing it's designed. The adversary had Paul design it that way, so that certain ones would reject everything and go back to just the Torah. because you already don't realize that Father punished his people because they accepted death. They broke the covenant. And then he broke the covenant and brought death upon them. So the adversary is not concerned. As long as you're there, he knows you're not going to be an issue in the future, because you're going to stay right there. You're not going to cross any lines. Sometimes we don't realize that because of the way the church indoctrinated us and taught us, it is so hard to let go. Because you love the J and the S person, right? This is who you love. And you see him as the Most High. And yet he's not. He made it clear that he is a son of man. He never once referred to himself otherwise. He was always the Son of Man. There are those that start going down this. Someone will tempt them and say, oh, well, the Yahweh name was the name of an Assyrian god. So then they, instead of them staying on the path they're on, they get tempted and go off of it. There was this person, I think, called Spiritual Truth. That's what they did. They went so far out, away. This person is no longer an issue to the adversary, because he's got her over on some other cloud. And then you have those who continue on their journey, that the adversary will cause people to come and threaten them and do all kinds of things, attempt. And I've seen so many. I know one that became an aquapond dealer and he was more spot on than anyone I had ever heard. He taught the rapture that I was blown away at how he taught that the rapture is not a beginning before a pre-tribulation. He amazed me. He blew me away with the teaching, and now all of his videos are gone because he went another route. I've seen those that their families were threatened, their children, their spouses, their mothers, their fathers, their children were threatened. And they became afraid. And they stopped teaching. If you're going to show Paul and teach Paul against Paul and show who he is really, you have to have the strength, and you've got to stand on that solid ground. Obedience to the Most High. No one can touch you when the Most High has a wall built around you. Anyone that attempts to come will be dealt with by the angel of the presence of the Most High. You don't even have to really do anything. Then there are those that use the Strong's Concordance, not realizing that in a way that was designed as a novelty, the same way that tarot cards are designed as a novelty. If you're not careful, it ends up becoming a divining tool and becomes a part of divination. Because the Hebrew language is a very unique language. There are no vowels. So their consonants double as vowels and can double for different vowels. And one word in Hebrew can mean 20 different things depending on the paragraph. You have to read the entire paragraph to understand what a certain word will mean or could mean. Back before the scribes would put dots to show you what they were and which ones were vowels and which vowel sounds they were, a scribe or someone who knew Hebrew would have to read the paragraph several times, like many times. Beware and be careful of using the concordance to try to interpret what things mean, because if you're not careful, you will go down a very sinister path. And the adversary is okay with that. He doesn't worry about you anymore. He knows when he snaps his fingers, you will be gone and done. People, you're not getting how serious these things are and where we are. We are in a very unique time where this is the time where the temptation, the great temptations that take everyone away, please be careful. Please do not come against any of our brethren. We're all in the same boat. All of us were deceived at one point, and some still are. It's our job to help bring them out of the deception, not condemn them for being there, because we were there too. We can't condemn them for being in Egypt still. We have gotten out of Egypt, and now it's our job to help bring them out of Egypt. Not condemn them for being there. They can't help it either. They don't realize they have been deceived. We have to be very careful. I'm going to pause for a moment and ask Father, was there something else to put in here? Because I feel like I'm leaving something out. So just give me a moment. Father, you are holy, you are righteous, you are mighty, you are great, you are everything, Father, and we are nothing but dust of this earth. And I praise thee, Father, for allowing us to be a part of the things that you are bringing forth. I praise you for those messengers that have come to pull the tares out of the wheat, Father. I praise you that they are able to focus on that, because that's their job. That's what they were designed to do. To just pull the tares out of the good seed that Yahshua planted. Let them get their focus back, Father, those that have went away. Teach them to bundle the tares so that they can be cast into the lake of fire, Yahweh. I glorify you forever, Father. Open their eyes, touch them, help them to get through You keep the adversary away from them, Father, the same way you keep him away from me. You are holy forever. Guide them. Put a light in their path, and a lamp upon their feet, so they can see clearly the path they were designed to be on, and let them stay on that path, Father. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy existence, and even so thy name. Thy kingdom is come, thy will is done on this earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses against thee. Teach us to forgive others the same way you forgive us, Father. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. In the name of the Holy Lamb, the one with the 7 eyes, which are your 7 spirits, whose name on this earth was Yahshua, but in your kingdom nobody knows his name but thee, O living Yahweh. Praise you, Father, be glorified forever. Moreover, I come to you today, Father, in your name, Father. Be glorified. Use this message for thy purpose and anoint it. Praise you, Father. Amen and amen.